Hello, I'm Philip Brunelle, Artistic Director and founder of Vocal Essence and organist choirmaster at Plymouth Congregational Church in Minneapolis. Each day, I've selected a composer who's had a role to play with Vocal Essence and Plymouth Church. Today, it's Franz Josef Haydn, that beloved composer born in 1732, died in 1809. Austrian composer, one of the great composers of the classical period. He was also a violinist and really is regarded as the one who developed chamber music, particularly the piano trio. He's talked of as the father of the symphony, as the father of the string quartet. He was a friend of Mozart. He tutored Beethoven. And you can't imagine how he could write all this music. He wrote 14 masses, 107 symphonies, 83 string quartets, 62 piano sonatas, 26 operas, and 45 piano trios. Folks, that is a lot of music. For 30 years, he was at the Esterhazy estate, a beautiful place which I have visited, and it was there during those 30 years that obviously, somewhat isolated from the rest of the world, he composed music for the royalty who lived there and was also, from time to time, in Vienna. He loved to go into Vienna, and that is where, in 1798, his famous oratorio, The Creation, had its premiere. And 3 years later, in 1801, his other oratorio, The Seasons. So I thought, what music of Haydn's would make sense? And first of all, I thought I'll play a little piece on the piano that he wrote. You know, back in that era, there were these unusual instruments, not unlike in the 19th and 20th century when the player piano came, but this was called the flute clock. And as it says about this instrument, the flute clock is not like a regular clock with hands and face. It was only a mechanical musical work comprised of a cylinder lined with pins, a bellows, a series of tuned whistles, and a clockwork with spring or weight impulsion. So it was like a miniature organ that could operate by itself. I'm going to play a little one. He wrote, well, there's a whole bunch of them in here, of these pieces, more than 30 of these little flute clock pieces. So here's one of them that you can just imagine on this little instrument with the cylinder going around. Music of Franz Josef Haydn. Well, he wrote, of course, a lot of wonderful choral music. I mentioned the 14 masses, and one of the most famous of them is his St. Nicholas Mass. And the final piece in that is this gorgeous Dona Nobis Pacem, Grant Us Peace, O God. And it's a piece that is for a solo quartet, and then the choir comes in. And here is the beginning. I'll play a little bit at the beginning and the end of this Dona Nobis Pacem. And then the two men. And then the four together. And then as it comes near the end, and you get Dona Nobis Pacem from the St. Nicholas Mass. One of my very favorite pieces of Haydn, a choral piece, is from a collection that he wrote. There were 13 choruses in it, and this is the sacred piece in it. It's called Evening Song to God. And it's a beautiful, wonderful way in which first the alto sings the melody, the soprano adds to it, then the bass sings, and finally the tenor comes in, all to this melody. Basically saying, it's been a wonderful day, but day is over. I thank you, God. Now it is time for rest. And then as it comes into the ending, and that comes back, have a wonderful day.